From station WDWL TV. Why are we... Oh, jeez. Oh, it's going to be one of them streams. Let's start again from station WDWL TV, located on Grumpy Vulture Boulevard. Broadcasting live from Studio A, located on Grumpy Old Man Road. It's the Grumpy Old Man. Oh, me, and the Grumpy Vulture Show. Take your bow. Oh, okay, and I see your lava lamp is lavaing tonight. Oh, you turned it on early. Good for you. Now look at the camera. It's right there. Greetings, friends. As you see, I've swapped back to the red MXL 990. Not that the other mic was a problem. Originally, I thought it was when that damn reverberation echo. I discovered something totally by accident. If I take and I set the microphone volume and then I use the mixer master volume to increase the volume level, it increases it like twofold, and I end up with that echo. Now I'm hoping by making adjustments to the mixer today that I'm not getting that echo. I did, as a matter of fact, I zeroed everything out, and then I started one slide bar at a time. And when I set the microphone volume and then took the master slide bar, which controls the whole board, and I moved it up equal with the microphone volume, I got the echo. So I think that was what the problem was. You don't put both slides at the same. So like right now, I have the microphone set at 5, and I have the master set at 4. So it's one notch lower, because if I lower the master down to 3, it gets too quiet. So we're going to try this tonight. I don't know. I'm thinking that is what's causing the problem. Using both slide bars equally. You know, I went back to the Behringer, and I haven't used the Behringer in almost a year. So this doesn't operate like the new one. See, that's another thing. Mixers. You would think that a studio mixer, whether it be a Behringer or it be a Sennheiser, they would all operate the same. No. Which I could see what would really screw up the technicians in a professional recording studio. Because, I'm working with a mixer that's got 10 slide bars. In a professional recording studio, some of those mixers have 200 slide bars. It's like each slide bar is an eighth of an octave for the voice. And as a person is singing, they're adjusting each one of these slide bars down the line to enhance. So, I don't know. All I know is, once I get everything set, I ain't gonna fuck with it. I'm leaving well enough alone, almost to the point of putting tape over each slide bar, and a big sign. Keep your fucking hands off it, Grumpy. So, fingers crossed. That was what caused the shit last night. I can't win. Either it's that goddamn returning echo, or Prism decides, well, Grumpy, we've heard enough of your shit tonight. Cut you off. Speaking of cutting somebody off, I had fun today in the store. Yeah. There were 3 Munching monsters. Now, I've talked about Munching monsters once before. These are kids that basically mom turns loose in the store, and then they eat what they want, and then they put the package back on the shelf, or on a different shelf in a different section. Well, 2 of the 3, the third one was about 4 years old. The oldest one, I would say, would be like 7, maybe 8. The middle one, I'm going to say 5, 5.5. Well, the older one, who had the youngest one, was in the potato chip aisle. And he was helping himself to different flavor potato chips, and of course sharing with his little brother. Okay, yeah. Mom taught them to share. Well, somewhat. You share after you buy it and get it home. You don't share in the store where you open 3 or 4 bags of chips and then you hide them on the bottom shelf. As I went around the corner, the next aisle was the cookie and cracker aisle. Well, middle son was helping himself to several different brands of Keebler cookies. He started with oh God, what do they call them? They're like not a gingerbread. It'll come to me. He started with the shortbread cookies that are the back is dipped in chocolate and they got chocolate squiggles. Well, he had maybe 6 or 7 of them, and he decided, I've had my fill of these, and he put the bag back on the shelf. Then he went to the chocolate chips, and he had maybe 4 or 5 chocolate chips and put the bag back on the shelf. And then he went down and he just got the plain shortbread cookies, and those tickled his fancy. He had about 10 of them and put the bag back on the shelf. Well, I waited until he made the turn to go back to look for Mom or look for his brothers, and I commenced to pick all the open cookie packages up and put them in my basket. Then I come around to the potato chip aisle, and at that point, they had finished or had their fill of potato chips. So I walked down the aisle, and I picked up 6 different bags of chips that were all opened and put them in my basket. I had done my grocery shopping, picked up the items I needed, so I just kind of nonchalantly followed Mom around the store. Well, the 3 little darlings stayed with Mom because she was just about through shopping. So she gets up to the register, and I conveniently got in behind her, and the girl's scanning, scanning, and she gets down to like the last 4 or 5 items. Well, at that point, I pulled the divider bar back, those courtesy divider bars, marks the end of my groceries and the beginning of yours. Well, I slid it back, and I put all the open bags on the register, and then waited before I put mine on the belt. Well, at this point, the girl had scanned like the first 2 bags of cookies, and Mom was like, wait a minute, those are his. I saw him put them up there. Those aren't my cookies. And the little cutie cashier, who I kibitz with all the time, looked at me and she said, oh, are those yours? I said, oh, no, those are hers. And she said, I didn't buy cookies and potato chips. I says, well, you're buying them now. And she goes, what do you mean I'm buying them now? All those packages are open. I said, yes, and your 3 little darlings opened all them packages, helped themselves to what they wanted, and put them back on the rack. She turned and looked at them and said, did you really do that? And of course all 3 of them are going, oh no, Mom, no, he's telling a lie, he's fibbing on us. I says, well, if you think that I'm trying to get your little darlings in trouble, we could very easily have store, loss prevention, check the tapes. I said, if you look up at the ceiling, you can see there's cameras all over the store. And they probably got some good profiles of your little darlings eating potato chips and cookies. She gave me a real stink-eyed look. And she says to the cashier, how much is all that extra? And the cashier says, well, I don't have it separated out. It's in the grand total. But we could very easily go up to the service desk and have them price everything out for you so you know how much it is. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, why does she need to know how much it is? She's buying it, period. So I asked her, because Grumpy can never keep his mouth shut and mind his own business. I said, why do you need to know how much The chips and cookies are. They're the last items on your receipt. That's why I put them up last. As a matter of fact, I think she rang the chocolate chip cookies first. So just go chocolate chip cookies, Dad. She says, well, I want to know how much to take out of their allowance. I repeated myself. As a matter of fact, I asked the little cutie cashier, I says, can I have that receipt for a minute? And then I took my pen out of the pocket and I drew a line between, I think the last item she rang up was cottage cheese, between cottage cheese and cookies. And I says, here, all these items below the line are your chips and cookies. All you have to do when you get home is pull out your abacus and total it up, and then you'll know. She jerked the receipt out of my hand and stormed out of the store. Me and the little cutie cashier were laughing our asses off. The little cashier says, I can't believe you did that. I says, I do it all the time. I said, it pisses me off when Mom turns the kids loose in the store. They run around, help themselves to chips and cookies and what have you, and then put them back. And then I says it ends up getting written off as you know, shrinkage and thrown in the dumpster. It's not right. So I happened to catch her little darlings, and now it won't go to waste because she paid for it, and now she's taking them all home and probably bitching at the kids all the way home. So yeah, Grumpy was an asshole again today, but I'm doing my part for loss prevention. Because had I not been there today, all them bags of chips and cookies would have ended up getting written off and thrown away. That's bullshit. You know, prices are high enough the way it is, let alone this kind of crap goes on. And I can guarantee this happens every time she goes shopping. Because this isn't the first time her little darlings pulled this shit. They were real pros. Eat a few cookies or eat a few potato chips and then sneak it back on the bottom shelf. And then what really got me was oldest son made the little tyke put the stuff away. You know, let's not be man enough to do it ourselves. That way if you know, a store employee would come by and say, "Oh, he did it." Yeah, they're sampling the chips, and when they get done with the one bag, he hands it to the little tyke and goes, "Put that on the bottom shelf." And of course, the little kid, he thinks he's doing right, you know, and puts it down there. So Grumpy did his good deed today for loss prevention. And I'm sure she called me every name under the sun as she was leaving the store, which I could give a damn. Teach your kids right. First of all, don't turn them loose like wild banshees. Keep your kids with you so you can keep an eye on them. And second of all, if they grab a package and open it, put it in your cart. Pay for it. I'm sure they learned from Mom. You know, Mom caught them eating chips or cookies one day and went, Oh, hey, put that back on the shelf. I'm not paying for those. Kids. Then, as I drove past one of the polling places today, it made me very thankful that I voted by mail. Yeah, nothing irritates the shit out of me. It's all these polling workers. Not polling workers. Oh, God, what would you call them? I call them assholes. You know, as you're walking up to vote, they're campaigning for a certain candidate or a certain issue or something. And then, you know, they're stuffing shit in your face. Here, vote for this, vote for that. There must have been 50 people pouncing on prospective voters, shoving shit in people's faces. You know, I've said many times, if you don't have your mind made up by the time you go to vote, don't bother leaving your house. Because you're going to do a coin toss. And that's not the way to vote. I start at least 3 months in advance studying the issues, studying the candidates, weighing one against the other, pros and cons. And by the time election day comes around, I know every candidate I'm going to vote for, every issue I'm going to vote on. There's some issues I don't vote for anymore because they're bullshit. Like the school issue. First of all, I haven't had a kid in school in 20 years. And they want to raise the cigarette tax to do school improvements. And they want to raise the tax 3.5 cents per cigarette, not per pack, per cigarette. Well, needless to say, Grumpy didn't vote yes on that issue. Oh, no way, Jose. Needless to say, the schools are turning out idiots the way it is. But no. Sorry, schools, you didn't get my vote to raise the cigarette tax 3.5 cents a cigarette. Now, there's certain issues I don't question, like the library. I've used the library many times. I like to go in and sit down with a book. So, when there's a bond issue for the library, it gets Grumpy's vote. And for the park system, I love in the summer to drive through the park system and enjoy all the wildlife and all the beautiful trees and flowers and everything. So when the parks come up, yes. Schools, no. Not when you're jacking my cigarette prices that much. I don't think so. And the problem is, the print on the fucking ballot was so small that people will see that 3.5 and they'll think it's per pack. And it scares me that the school bond issue is going to pass because people didn't read it. Oh yeah, they have the print really big and then it gets down little itty bitty 3.5 cents per cigarette. See, that's why. You do your homework well in advance, people. Of course, too late now. I think the voting booths have closed now. It's all over but the crying. I need to do... Grumpy should do a voter education program. Oh. Yeah, that'd work real well. But really, people, if you don't have your mind made up on every candidate and every issue, when you leave the house to go vote, don't leave the house. Because basically you're going to be undecided and some idiot's going to shove a leaflet in your face and you're going to go, oh, Fred Smith for judge. Okay, I'll vote for him. How do you know Fred Smith is going to be a good judge? Did you do any research? No. Your researcher was somebody shoving something in your face that Fred Smith for judge. Okay. Then you get in the voting booth and you go, let's see, who, judge, oh, yeah, Fred Smith. Not the way to vote, people. Like a friend of mine. He votes strictly by the party. He doesn't bother to check qualifications or anything else. He votes straight party ticket, right down the line. I says to him one day, I says, hey, did you stop and look at one judge versus the other? This judge here takes a hard line on crime. This one here's a marshmallow. But since that judge falls into your party ticket, that's who you vote for. Not a way to vote. But unfortunately, you can't tell people how to vote. The old adage, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Unless you're standing behind it with two bricks and you crush its balls, then when it's got a head in the water, it's going to go, oh! Yeah, it'll drink a lot of water. Kind of a crappy, grumpy joke. I don't take credit for it. It was one my father used to tell all the time. He thought he was a comedian. Good thing he had a day job. Oh, I think I need to put some more fluid in there. Plus, today when I was in the store It was so nice seeing all those nice fresh loaves of Jewish rye. Yeah. I needed to get a loaf of bread anyway, but I kind of sauntered back to the bread aisle, and as I made the corner, I was like, oh, look! Jewish rye stacked eye high. Yeah. So far, so good. But I can, I can see it's not going to last. Sooner or later, the delivery man's going to go, oh, God, look at the returns that I have, 3 times a week or whatever. Any excuse not to do his job. But it was nice today. 10 nice fresh loaves of Schwabel's Jewish rye. And I checked. They were all today's. Everything had a white twisty. See, I know what he does. He takes, and if he's got a couple of loaves left over, from his previous delivery, he puts all the fresh ones on the bottom, and he puts the older ones on top, which is basically what you do anyway. When you're stocking a shelf, you pull the merchandise forward and you put the fresh stuff in the back. Well, he takes, puts the fresh stuff down, and puts the previous loaves on top. But today, every loaf had a white twisty. And oh, were they fresh. I was back there fondling loaves of bread. People were looking at me like, oh, God, he needs help. No, I just wanted to make sure every loaf was as fresh as the previous one. But it was nice seeing that, well, the whole display, since they did a reset, it looks so nice and neat. You come in and the white bread's here, 2 different size loaves, and then he's got he starts with the buns. Hamburger and hot dog buns, then the white bread, 2 different size loaves. And then he had, today, there was fresh cinnamon bread, fresh cinnamon raisin. Then he had the deli rye and my Jewish rye. I don't know why they make cinnamon and cinnamon raisin. Any time when I was growing up, we always had cinnamon raisin. I don't know when they made strictly cinnamon bread and cinnamon raisin. And they don't put, 500 pounds of raisins in. If you don't like raisins, pick them out. No, we have to have 2 different types. Cinnamon and cinnamon raisin. More wasted bread. Goddamn loaf of bread is expensive enough the way it is. It's like the Spam. My store has regular, low sodium, and Spam Light. I asked the assistant manager, I says, do you ever have the option to order like Tabasco or jalapeno. He looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. He said, "What?" I said, "Oh yeah, they make Tabasco Spam, jalapeno Spam, Spam and cheese." He says, "I'll have to check the order." I said, "Well, if they have the option, see if you can order something extra, like maybe Tabasco or Spam and cheese." I says, I think if it caught people's eye, they would buy it. I'm not the only person that eats Spam on earth. So the assistant manager he's going to check into it for me and see if he can order me some Tabasco or jalapeno or Spam and cheese. Matter of fact, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to go on the Hormel website and see what different varieties of Spam they make. I'm going to do that tomorrow morning because Spam is made by Hormel. So I'm going to go on the Hormel website and see how many different varieties of Spam that they make. And maybe, if a case isn't too expensive, I might order one. I know the per can price in the store is a little steep for me. It's pretty sad when you have to go price shopping at different stores for Spam. See, I don't know if all these carry Spam. I know Save-A-Lot does, but they just carry regular. I've never seen Spam Light or low sodium at Save-A-Lot. And I know if I go to Gigantic Eaglet, the price is going to be phenomenal, so I'm not even going to bother going there. Although I'm sure they probably have another flavor. Because that was like a couple weeks ago. I was looking for sugar cubes. You know, back growing up, 1 lump or 2, we had sugar cubes. My store doesn't carry them. And neither does Save-A-Lot or Aldi's. So, when I was talking to my high school friends Sunday, I asked his wife, I said, "Hey, can you check something for me?" Because she shops at Walmart and Gigantic Eaglet. I said, "Can you see if they still carry sugar cubes?" She called me this morning. Both stores carry them. Walmart and Gigantic Eaglet. So I'm going to have to stop and get me some sugar cubes. I know, I'm strange. I used to use them in the past, and I want to use them again. I know people are out there shaking their heads going, "Oh, Jesus, Grumpy, you're a whack ball. You have to have flavored Spam, and you have to have sugar cubes." Yeah, I'm strange. I want my Spam flavored, although I'll settle for regular, but I would like to have some Tabasco Spam. I know people are out there saying, "Grumpy, buy some goddamn Tabasco sauce and put it on your Spam." It's not the same. I could do it. I got Tabasco sauce in the fridge. It tastes different. Jeez. Humor me. I want my flavored Spam. And my sugar cubes. And I'm sure I'll think of something else. I'm hoping I have this microphone adjusted at the proper audio level. I tried to think of what it was the other day when I started with the orange one and then, went to the red one. If the audio level is just right, I'm going to make a note in my little notebook that I have. MXL 990 red, volume level X. And then tomorrow I'll put the orange one up, which should be the same. Not necessarily. If it is the same, then I'll put MXL 990 orange, volume level X. That way when I swap mics, I just go to the microphone audio level, preset, done. Don't touch the master. No. I think that's where the echo's been coming in. Watch the goddamn thing echo tonight and just screw up my whole theory on the damn reverb echo. But so far, I haven't gotten any warnings from Prism either. No gray boxes. Or red. Gray boxes are just kind of like a suggestion. The red ones are the nasty ones. Like the other night when it said, "Your stream has ended." And it did. It didn't even say reconnecting, although when it reconnects, it really doesn't. They lie to you. And I looked into Restream today, another streaming program. Confused the shit out of me. I need to get a 5 or a 6-year-old to come in and explain me how it operates. Because I can't figure it out. It's not like this. This definitely is a streaming program for dummies. Although it still won't let me put Faceplant back in. I don't understand it. I went over in Studio B. And I checked. And Faceplant was gone. So I clicked the box, add channel. Down drop, the drop down came in. I clicked Faceplant. Down came the Faceplant sign-in screen. I signed in. Hit enter. And in Studio B, I have 2 platforms. It won't let me do it over here. I don't know why. It ain't making no sense. If I can add it on the computer over there, why can't I add it over here? But no. When the drop-down box comes in, and I click Faceplant, or anything, Twitch, or Kick Me, or the drop-down box comes in, it's just a black box. No sign-in screen. It's like there's a demon in my Prism Live studio in Studio A. It won't let me add platforms. So when I get off of here, I have to go over to Studio B, bring up usage tube, click share, click faceplant, and then it shares it. I should be able. I had it here before. Oh, that's what's driving me crazy. I had YouTube, faceplant, and instant graham crackers. All I have is useless tube now. It won't let me add anything. I'm like, why do you have a drop-down box with multiple platforms if you can't add one? I even signed out and signed back into Prism, figuring maybe they were questioning my sign-in. Nope. Something's jinxed over here. Although, see, I haven't done a stream from Studio B in so long. I don't know, maybe I'd get kicked off over there like I got kicked off over here. Maybe tomorrow. Even though we don't have the new background set up. The only thing is there's no lead-in music. It's like, click, live, here I am. But then I have to readjust all the USB microphones too. Nothing's ever easy. Everybody thinks, oh, Grumpy just walks in and throws a switch and he's streaming. No. There's a lot of technology behind it. In order to get this stream up for my 50 subscribers. Yeah, I'm still at 50. I had my fingers crossed this morning. I was like, oh, let's see. Up, 50. And see, I don't know if 51 was a new subscriber and decided after a week, oh, I don't want nothing to do with him, or it was an old subscriber that decided, oh, I don't want nothing to do with him. See, you don't get names. They keep that secret so that you can't go after somebody for unsubscribing, going, hey, you're messing with my algorithm. I bet you guys didn't know I knew that big word. Yes, I checked my algorithm. I checked to see the average length of listening. If I have an hour long stream, the average listening is 17 minutes. That's sad. Because a lot of times you people, you miss the good stuff at the end. But yeah, that's the average. 17 minutes. They get to the 17-minute mark and go, oh, this guy's boring the fuck out of me. Click. I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh, gee, they don't even give me a half an hour out of an hour stream. And it's like 17 minutes and 13 seconds. They got it right down to that. So most of you subscribers out there, when it gets to the 17 minutes and 31-second point. Give me a few more seconds, will you? Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff buried in there. I don't bother to look. It really breaks my heart when I see 17 minutes. Although, kind of falls in gear with all my ex-wives. After listening to me for 17 minutes, they were like, all right, that's it. I'm done. And they'd walk out of the room. I'd be talking to myself. Grumpy's luck. I hear you chuckling over there. Yeah, cut that shit out. Or you're going to be like that jerkalope up there on the wall. You'll be mounted next to him. I'll even see if the guy can put some antlers on you. That way I'd have a vulturelope. Oh. I knew there was something. See if I don't lay stuff out. Where is it? There it is. There it is. My buddy stopped over and brought me a sign. Save the jackalope. Isn't that cool? Now I have to hang it underneath him. Yeah. Save the jackalope. I love it. I asked him, I said, where did you find that? He said, Temu. I said, really? I go through the signs. I've never seen it. Yeah. He got it off of Temu. So I gotta mount it underneath him somehow. I gotta rearrange. It look kind of cool mounted underneath him. Save the jackalope. I like it multicolored too. It's a nice sign. Look at that. The only thing is I hate when they do this. They drill the holes in the sides. It should, so I could hang it up. Now I got to take and drill my own holes and pray that I don't screw the sign up. But yeah, that's kind of neat. Save the jackalope. Tomorrow, if everything goes right, I've got more signs coming. So if they show up, I'll go through them again tomorrow and show you the neat ones I ordered. Like I told you, this is going to be filled with all these signs. All the round signs. Yeah, according to shipping, they should be here tomorrow. I think I've got like 12 coming tomorrow. Yeah, I kind of went overboard. But every sign that I purchased, if they all show up tomorrow, every single sign was no more than $1.50. And some of these signs sell for $8, $10. They had what they called a pre-Black Friday blowout sale. I got a couple of them for 98 cents. Original price $6.99. So you can see the markup on these things. But yeah, I didn't pay more than $1.50 for any of these signs coming tomorrow. And there's some neat ones. I hope they get here tomorrow. They were supposed to be here today. It said out for delivery, and then I checked at 7 o'clock. It said out for delivery. I checked at 8:30 just for grins. It said to be delivered November 6th. Make up your mind. What'd you do? Take them away from my letter carrier? Hey, give me them signs back. You're not going to deliver them till tomorrow. Yeah, it said arrived at post office 4:41. Out for delivery 6:52. Then the next time I checked, because I was checking on something else I ordered, it said delivery tomorrow. And I missed my letter carrier today. I wanted to ask her, did they take them away from you? Did you have them in your bag and they reached in and said, give me them back? You're not delivering them to Grumpy till tomorrow. Let's piss the old man off. Although her and I were joking the other day. I said, I have a package that's been floating around in cyberspace for 13 months now. I never got it, and the guy that shipped it to me never got it back. It's just bouncing around the country. Probably, it hits the post office in Yuma, Arizona, and then the next day left Snowshoe, Idaho, then Miami, Florida. Yeah, this package, the post office can't find it. It didn't get delivered to me, and it didn't get returned to sender. Nobody knows where it's at. And that's kind of scary, considering the post office says, we got the most modern equipment. We can track a package, from point A to point B. Each stop it makes. Well, mine stopped somewhere, and they don't know where it stopped. But yeah, 13 months now. Matter of fact, the guy sent me a replacement. And I thanked him, and I said, if it ever gets here, I'll return it to you. He goes, no, for your trouble, keep it. I was like, really? Well, it's a cordless Dremel. I won't mind having two of them. Yeah, when I told him, I said, hey, no package. He checked with his post office, found out it didn't get delivered. And what was amazing, he shipped me the replacement from City of Industry, California, on a Wednesday. Friday afternoon, the replacement was here. But the original one is still floating around in USPS cyberspace somewhere. Either that or a letter carrier in Scottsdale, Arizona is enjoying my cordless Dremel. Usually, the post office does pretty good. But this one package, who knows where it is? It's out there somewhere. Because it's never been taken out of the system. But they don't know where it's at. I was like, the millions of dollars you spent on computerized equipment, and you have no idea where this package ended up? Nope. All they know is It never got delivered to me, and it never got returned to sender. Maybe I'll get lucky. It'll show up tomorrow with my signs. I'm like, oh boy, my second cordless Dremel. I'll tell you what, I use the shit out of that thing. Oh, it's so nice not having to plug something in. Yeah, USB, recharge it, take it out, do what I gotta do with it. Dremel tools are neat. They're great for doing little intricate. But yeah, my original cordless is somewhere out there. That's what the postmaster keeps telling me. Well, it's somewhere. We don't know where, but it's somewhere. Well, we've been doing pretty good. Let's see. Oh my God. We're at 1 hour and 1 minute. And no warnings. Wow. Now, tomorrow I'll get cut off at the 10-minute mark. I'm not going to push my luck anymore. Where's my clicker? I will chat with you tomorrow. Everybody, have a wonderful evening.